Crystal Palace are very good. I know that. You may know that. I did a video on that. But here I am, and I'm back for more. That little bit more involved one of the signings of this season. No, it's not Ismaliar Sarr. It's the 24-year-old colossal Frenchman, Maxence Lacroix. Lacroix was signed for a fee surrounding the 20 million mark after club captain Joachim Anderson left to rejoin Fulham for 30 million. Before his arrival in the Premier League, his reputation amongst quite a lot of people was being a meme on TikTok. Now it's for being a quality Premier League defender. Today's video talks all things Maxence Lacroix, who he is, how he's utilised by Oliver Glasner, his qualities and how good he really is. Let's go. So the Frenchman was picked up by Wolfsburg in 2020 from the 2nd division of France. He would then go on to make 130 appearances for the German side before making that move to English football. It was the right move for him to make for the sake of his career and for the sake of his own skill set too. He himself has done a superb job at really buying into the culture at Crystal Palace and creating that connection with the supporters. But Glasner, of course, has done him wonders, taking his game to that next level. But how has he done that? Well, this tweet sort of sums it right up. To summarise it, he was utilised to defend the wider spaces for Wolfsburg. He struggled a little bit, he also struggled in disciplinary. Then Glasner identified that, tackled that, and now he's getting the best out of him in the middle of a three. In the middle of a back three, his main focus isn't defending in those wide spaces, but only doing so when need be. Here in the middle of Palace's defensive line, he partners Mark Guehi and Chris Richards. On the ball, he can focus on stepping out on the ball, also hanging back when those next to him have the ball, finding little passes and distributing the ball to the centre backs next to him. Off the ball when defending, he can step out and be aggressive, take care of the opposition number 9, only defend out wide when needed, and a whole lot more. When Palace are in possession with the ball, Guehi and Richards can push that little bit further forwards. They can carry the ball forwards to access the forwards, wing-backs and midfielders with that little more extra freedom because of that man behind them, Maxence Lacroix. They couldn't do this as much with Anderson, probably because Anderson was the one wanting to step out and hit a good long diag out wide. Instead, Lacroix can do this, but he just hangs back a bit. So if one of those wide centre-backs do lose the ball when progressing it up the pitch, you've got a monstrous level centre-back to cover for you, which brings security in transition. So when an opponent actually does come up against Lacroix, they often struggle, especially when he's got that head start of hanging back. Trying to take him on 1v1 is a huge struggle. He's got the speed to easily keep up with you, he's got the agility to twist and turn should you try anything, and the physicality to shrug and outmuscle you off the ball. How do you actually get by him? You've got to be very good or very lucky, even when you think you might have just beaten him. One of his finest traits is how good he is at blocking shots or a cross, purely down to his anticipation and, you guessed it, speed. When watching him, I noticed quite a lot how proactive he is. He's always sniffing down danger and ready to spring right into action. He's ready, he's alive. It looks like he hardly has to get out of first gear a lot, and his defensive positioning complements that. It is spot on. So before he's even put any defensive action in, he's already done most of the work. But let's have a look more at that work. Lacroix is excellent at running across to those wide spaces. I mean excellent. You can tell he enjoys rushing across from central centre-back to defend out wide over purely defending out wide. He's cool and he's quick. Often, Palace sometimes get beaten by underlapping runs, which isn't a huge problem when your 3 centre-backs are athletic, aggressive, strong and dominant. He'll either sprint across, put his body into the man and let the ball run out intelligently, or sprint across, put his body and 6'3" frame right into his man and clear the ball away. That may seem obvious and basic, but I want to emphasise this area of his game. A lot of defenders, if they've got that speed and that aggression, will try and play their way out short, but not with Lacroix. I think he's got that no-nonsense style to his game. He just gets rid, no messing, no questions asked, just straight out. He sweeps up play, coming across superbly, and this is an aspect of his game that brings so much surety to his teammates. If you're beaten, Lacroix will be there. In terms of just getting it out straight away, this could be a personal characteristic to his game or Oliver Glasner's instruction to him, because as we know, Palace likes to be faster and direct on the break. But if we look at the more raw, physical nature of defending, then he's top. When defending those pieces of play in the box, he sweeps it all up. Physically, he's immense, so he deals with number 9s so well. The game against Fulham over a month ago, he dominated and pocketed Raul Jimenez. He clings onto that number 9 tightly within defending, so he hardly gives them any breathing space or time to turn. In the Bundesliga, he was known for being too reckless and uncoordinated in these areas, especially out wide, but I have to say, I have not seen this so far at Crystal Palace. Maybe he's a little bit weaker, defending against a really nice, quick feet dribbler, but in this department, he's absolutely top. When defending crosses, he heads them clear and away from danger easily. He always recovers back into defensive position quickly and deals with the faster, more chaotic pieces of play very coolly, especially if it's at that near post. He has the 5th most clearances in the league, the 5th most interceptions in the league, and averages 4.97 duels won per 90. He's simply Rolls Royce. I can talk about his defending all day and how he locks up attackers with ease. He just needed the team, environment and manager to really unlock it. But to put it in a nutshell, he's a duel dominating, fast, explosive, physical, all-round monster. However, let's now talk about his ball playing. Once he receives the ball, he's calm. He doesn't panic and he gives into the simplicity of it. He can pick out a good lifted ball out wide, but normally he prefers to keep it simply along the ground. Often, when in the middle third and build-up, he likes to step out with the ball, with the intention and visible intention to move and pass forwards. However, he often makes the feint and then just distributes it across to Richards or Gurhey. But that doesn't mean he never passes forwards. It just means Richards and Gurhey have more responsibility as the wide centre-backs in carrying the ball forwards. He passes forwards though when the time is right. Lacroix is an impressively composed forward passer. It's often struck along the turf into the feet of a wide player or the forward line. Precision, weight, accuracy, it's all there. When he's also under pressure by incoming pressers, he doesn't panic or take too many touches. He can either beat them and play their way out of it, or just get rid and clear the ball. But he's simply a reliable outlet with the ball with nothing to worry about for me. And then to close up, his 6'3" size means he's a good threat from corners. He's got a good leap, he's got decent direction from a header, posing him as a good, aggressive threat from set pieces for Crystal Palace. Personally, I can't believe how much of a bargain Palace had with Lacroix. And what an upgrade on Anderson. That's no disrespect on Anderson at all, but let's put some context into it. The Eagles sold the 28-year-old Dane for 30 million, then brought in somebody 4 years younger for over 10 million less, who to me is the better player. That is unbelievable business, and why the Frenchman is one of the signings of the season and one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. How highly do you rate Maxence Lacroix? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.